Hey, what is up guys, Total War Chaos here. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys the 4 total conversion and overhaul mods that is out and available to be played right now. Though they are in early access, so keep that in mind. Also, I am streaming live at around 4:30 PM GMT +1 or London time, so check me out live at twitch.tv/TotalWarChaos if you're free. Anyway, let's get to it. The Old Realm. This mod is set in the Warhammer fantasy world, where there are orcs, goblins, vampires, elves, dwarves, etc., as well as humans. Imagine it like the Warhammer Total War or the Vermintide game, except in Bannerlord. I believe there was a mod similar to this in Warband as well, though I personally have not played it myself. At the moment, there are 2 cultures to pick right now: the Empire of Men and the Vampire Counts, which obviously are the humans and the vampires. There is a completely new campaign map consisting of 1 Vampire Count factions on the top right, with 3 Empire of Men factions on the opposite side. Obviously, this is still early access. I would imagine things to fill out more as time passes. However, I gotta say, the campaign map actually looks really nice and fits the theme of the Warhammer world really well. There are new features added that is not in vanilla Bannerlord, such as spells that we can use by pressing Q to enable spell casting mode during a battle, and we can learn more spells and focus on a particular category like dark magic or necromancy or fire, etc. to further increase the powers of our spells. Keep in mind that there are a limited amount of spells we can use per battle, which depends on our winds of magic, aka mana. It can be increased by leveling up intelligence in the attribute section. As a vampire, we are also able to jump super high as well, and by pressing Ctrl to turn into a bat and start flying around once our sword meter is full on the bottom left corner. We can even spawn undead in the middle of a battlefield right behind enemy line. There are of course entirely new troop tree for the 2 factions. For the Empire of Man, there are a nice variety, including polearm, greatsword, shield, archers, crossbow, and musket infantry within their roster, as well as a noble troop tree separated from the common unit, just like in Bannerlord, where they pretty much turn into an elite armored cavalry unit. For the Vampire Counts faction, I think the common unit troop tree is incomplete or on purpose. I'm not too sure, as there's only 2 upgradable options available. For the Vampire Nobles, however, they too pretty much turn into an elite armored cavalry unit as we level them up. Lastly, let us not forget that there are a bunch of new body armor pieces as well. There are even new horse armor, new weapons like the Vampire Sword, Vampire Great Axe, Vampire Two-Handed Mace, Vampire Shield, Necromancy Staff, Empire Halberd, and many more other new items added that I have yet to discover. One thing to note is that at the release of this video, there's only a version for patch e1.7.1, not for 1.7.2, so make sure to roll back to the older version on Steam. We can do this by right-clicking on Bannerlord on Steam, Properties, Betas, then select the correct version, which is 1.7.1, and let the download begin. We will also need the Harmony mod, and then the load order should look something like this. Realm of Thrones. This is a mod that is inspired by the Game of Thrones TV show that is set on the fictional continents of Westeros and Essos. So if you are a Game of Thrones fan, then this mod might interest you. There are the standard 6 starting cultures we can choose from, ranging from Westermen, Ironborn, SOC, Darnish, Dothraki, and Northmen. A total of 11 new cultures, including the 6 mentioned at start. There is a completely new campaign map consisting of the continent's main area of Westeros and a large part of Essos, with many newly added factions like the Iron Islands faction at the western side of the main island, the Western Lands faction at the southwestern side, the Reach faction at the southern side of the continent, etc. This is only to mention a few. There are obviously way more, with a total of 19 new kingdoms and over 50 new towns, castles, and 100 villages being introduced. So there is quite a bit of option for everybody to choose from. One tip for anyone playing this mod: the experience I had is not great, mainly due to the vastness of the map. especially if we play around areas where the distance to travel between villages, castles and towns are extremely far apart. It becomes quite tedious to get anything done. be it questing, raiding, or trying to besiege a settlement, so I recommend playing around areas that is more closely populated. With 19 new kingdoms comes a whole bunch of new faction units with their own entire troop tree. From what I've seen so far, most of the factions are fairly well balanced, including most unit types like two-handed infantry, shielded infantry, archers or crossbow units, cavalry and horse archers, etc. Not only this, there seems to be a ton of new custom armor pieces and weaponry as well to fit the theme of each particular new faction units introduced. Last but not least, the load order are as follows. Just nothing complicated, everything is just below native. CA Eagle Rising. This is a mod that is inspired by the Roman Empire in the ancient Rome period. When we are in the actual campaign map, we will see the culture has been renamed and changed, including all the units within that culture's faction. The empire has been renamed to the Imperium, which is theme based on the Roman Empire, with Northern Imperium, Western Imperium, and Southern Imperium. The Battanian renamed to the Battani, theme based off of the Celtics. Vlandia renamed to the Diretics, theme based off of Dacia. The Kuzets renamed to the Saka, theme based off of the Scythians. There are many more factions later to be implemented, such as the Greek factions, Athens, Sparta, Macedon, the Parthian Empire, and Carthage, etc. The campaign map itself remains largely the same as it was in vanilla Bannerlord, so do not expect any new towns, castles, or villages to be part of this mod, as they do not intend to change the landscape and will keep the map of Calradia intact. For the troop tree, the Diretics and the Battani faction are both fairly well balanced, with a variety of units including light infantry, shielded infantry, missile units, and cavalry. However, for the Saka faction, there are less variety, with only the shielded and missile infantry from its common recruits. For the Imperium faction, we have the standard auxiliary recruits that can be recruited into spear infantry, cavalry, or archers. The noble unit that is easily recruited as well, they are the unit that everybody look forward to the most as the bread and butter infantry for the Roman Empire, the Roman Legionary. They start off looking already decked out with all the proper equipment we'd expect from a Roman Legionary, and the upgrade tree turns them into even more of an elite heavy infantry later on. Tetsojin, a mod that is inspired by the Japanese feudal period, which is the time where samurais was becoming more known, a military noble class that was on the rise. This mod introduces 3 new towns, 4 castles, 13 villages, essentially an entirely new faction based off of the samurai-like units located on the bottom right of the map under the Kuzets faction. We do have entirely new equipment that is to fit the samurai theme, with weaponry like the katana sword, the yari spear, the yumi bow, etc., as well as helmet and armor that looks the part. The troop tree is fairly well balanced too, including most units we'd expect from the faction. The katana samurai, a shielded infantry, spear cavalry, and archers. When looking at the troop tree, the thumbnail may appear buggy, but if you click on them, it will show the proper equipment. So there isn't much else to talk about for this mod, since it does not add quite as much as some of the other ones. But there are some sub mods that is recommended along with this mod if you go on to the Tetsojin mod page. So make sure to check that out too. But nevertheless, this is an excellent mod for any samurai enthusiasts out there like myself to enjoy. So that is it for this video. Let me know in the comment section if there are other conversion or overhaul mods that you think is also good. I am probably streaming live at around 4:30 PM GMT +1 or London time, so check me out at twitch.tv/TotalWarKS if you're free. And if you found the video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe for more future Bannerlord content. As always, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.